All right, I'd like to call the meeting to order. Roll call. See, we have present here Commissioner Foreman, Commissioner Allen,
Here.
Commissioner Cox,
Here.
and Commissioner Carroll,
Present.
and Commissioner Corley. And also via Zoom is Commissioner Williams,
Present.
Commissioner Ganshaw, and Commissioner McCullough.
Present.
Present.
Right. So we have 8 present, so we do have a quorum. The last couple of meetings, so next, treasury report.
Okay. I emailed the treasurer's report out to everyone. There's been no changes since last month. So we are at a balance of $2,298.92. No.
The treasurer report. A second.
Have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Seeing no further discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Passes. Before we go into new business, I wanted to, before we go into new business, for our speaker, I just want to say the last couple of meetings we didn't have a quorum, so we were not able to approve minutes. So because I'm missing the minutes from the last meeting in December, I'll have all 3 the minutes ready and they can be approved everything at that time. On new business, we do have the guest speaker, Julianne Hill, who is from Goodwill Industries. I passed out a couple of folders that she has some information to present. You wanted to come over.
Yep.
Here. Also, for commissioners that are on Zoom, I had emailed out the same thing that was on Zoom here, an email. So if you wanted to check the emails, get that information.
Hi, everyone.
Morning.
Morning. Good morning. Is it morning? I don't know. It's been a day. So
Afternoon, morning.
afternoon, morning is kind of half and half. I'm Julianne. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. I don't know. How many of you are familiar with Goodwill and what we do? Or just the stores? Anybody been in the stores?
Yeah.
The stores? Okay.
Yeah.
So the stores are part of what funds our mission, and our mission is to be in the communities and help training, education, and job placement. We specialize in helping individuals with barriers to employment, so helping with them with training, helping remove those barriers. So my particular job is program manager for digital skills. So what that means is a lot of different things. It's changed over the years. I first took the position in digital skills training in 2019. We've had a pandemic since then, so I've helped usher in virtual training programs. So helping individuals not only get the basic digital skills to be able to upskill, but then be able to work with us virtually to even more so add to their credentials. So it's been a journey through a pandemic. And so I cover our whole region. So our Goodwill region, each Goodwill is operated independently. So our particular Goodwill covers into Elkhart, Goshen, all the way into Illinois, to Lansing, Illinois, all the way up a little bit into Michigan, Niles. So we have a large territory to cover. And recent events, and I'm a resident of Michigan City. Just bought my first home here in January, moved in Michigan City, and recent events kind of urged me to step up in my own personal community and be like, I want to make a change for difference, make a difference in my community. help these young ones make better choices in their lives. So that's why I'm here, because I connected with Mrs. Corley, and I wanted to talk to you and let you know what the great things that we were doing and make it more available to our youth in Michigan City, because I think it's important. So a little bit more about the Academy and what we do. So the Academy is recently formed. The Academy at Goodwill is career and technical education. What I particularly oversee are 6 different programs, all completely virtual. I can offer in-person services and connection to technology. In 2022, I will have devices for loan. So we will be able to loan out devices to individuals that don't have access to technology, if my budget gets approved. So 2022, I should have devices to loan out for individuals to complete career training. What that includes is Facebook social media marketing, Google IT support, Google IT automation with Python, UX design, data analytics, and project management. We are brand new with some of these. Google IT support is kind of our where we started, and then added Python. So these are going to really prepare, as you see on the left side of your folder, each program has its own flyer and income that they can earn in our different regions. So it's stackable credentials that could really lead them to a career that allows them to live their most abundant life. So it's not one and done with us, and these programs are completely free of charge. There is no charge to the participant. And we offer wraparound services, so these are case managed services. So once they start with me, myself or one of my trainers, they are with us through placement into a job and beyond. I mean, really, I just was speaking with a mom of a young man I helped years ago. So it doesn't end when services end. They can always come back if they need additional help. So, any questions? And I can go through each individual program by itself, but that's kind of just an overview. I'm more conversational style. I don't know. Is that
Yes.
any questions?
Any questions by any commissioner?
I have one question, Mr. Corn.
Yeah.
When someone participates and fill out the application,
Mm-hmm.
get involved, how long do the training last?
So what we are doing is they're either 10 or 20 week cohorts. So some of the ones like Facebook, Google IT support, Google IT automation with Python, UX design, well, not UX design, Google project management, those are 10 weeks. Data analytics and UX design are 20 weeks each.
Do they get paid for the training, or?
They don't get paid for the training, but we are working on a work experience program to where they could actually get hands-on experience, because that's the piece that we've noticed has been missing, is that hands-on experience with businesses. So we're looking to connect with local businesses to get that. Either we can find grant funding to help cover those wages, or if the business is willing to go half with us, or some kind of arrangement, we're open to that. Yes, definitely.
Where will the training take place?
It is completely virtual. Completely. Yep.
I have a question.
I have a
Go, Commissioner
question.
Cox.
I want to
Commissioner
know,
Alcorn.
Go ahead.
it says 60 course hours. Are those hours transferable in place?
Not currently, but we are working with Ivy Tech to get dual credits. So that is a meeting that we are talking about. Currently, we're talking about it for Facebook and Google IT support, possibly project management. We're working on it. There are, for certain, some states and some colleges have dual credit for Google IT support. So it is a possibility.
Okay, my question is, what limitations does a client or a prospective student have to have in order to qualify?
None.
So it's not
There-
like the old Goodwill,
So some. There are a lot of different Goodwill programs. So you may be thinking of our Second Chance program. So they may have to have a criminal background,
No,
or maybe our Ability First, where they have a disability.
exactly.
Yep, that's another program. So this program in particular, we are encouraged to enroll individuals that are under 200% of the poverty line. But we have, I think, up to 50% that if they are over, we can still, because it's household income.
Oh, 20% of the poverty line.
Mhm.
Anybody who's over 20% under the poverty line, the poverty line has to pay money to somebody every month.
Right. So yeah. So it's really, it's a very wide range of who we can accept. We're really not cutting people off.
Okay.
Yeah. It's income. It could be, I think 200%. You can still collect certain benefits. So
Over
so-
20% of the poverty line.
Right, over.
Okay.
Yeah, so we want to enroll under. We want to lift people up. Yeah, we're encouraged to enroll people. that
And
are
now you're talking
under.
about you mentioned returning citizens, people with criminal background.
Definitely, we definitely encourage that. We have systems to support them in relationships with businesses that we want to continue to build in these areas, especially with skilled trades. So skilled programs like this, where they have this, that they are willing, they've made the effort to educate themselves and have a certificate or stackable, really. I mean, some of the information here, there's a roadmap to stackable credentials. So I don't encourage anybody, I like, keep going. Like, you're on momentum, let's build some stackable. So Facebook, do project management, and then move up in your skills.
What's
So-
the age threshold?
None. We have another grant, so I can give maybe work opportunities for more 18 to 24, but I don't have an enrollment age gap. So someone could qualify at any age.
That'll work for some good people, yeah. That'll work for some good people.
Oh, so many, yeah, that probably will work out for them. We look at your next hour till late.
No, and definitely. So if you want to connect, my card's in there, so I'd be happy to go through it on an individual basis as well.
All right, great.
Question?
Any other questions by any other commissioners?
I don't think so. I'm just really, again, grateful for everything, being able to talk to you guys. I really believe I want to, step up and make sure that Goodwill is recognized in Michigan City. So not just for the couple programs that everybody knows about, but that everybody knows about all the programs and has access. Because if they don't know about it, they can't take advantage of it.
Thank you. Before you go, you can look up at the screen. Any commissioners on the Zoom have any questions for Ms. Steele? Reference to the presentation? No? Okay. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Also like the record to reflect that Commissioner Fly is present, Commissioner Millsap and Commissioner Hogan are present via Zoom. Next, old business nominating committee. Last meeting I talked about forming a nominating committee. I reached out to Mrs. Allen, Commissioner Norville, and Commissioner Tillman to form a nominating committee. Those they will then solicit any bid for either be president, vice president, secretary, or treasurer as our executive board. So reach out to them.
Point of order, Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
I don't know what the status is of our secretary, but I do believe she was sent here by the NAACP. Do we have a letter of resignation, or what is going on with the secretary status?
We don't have a letter of resignation, so I'm not sure right now. Some things I try to get is on my list of things. Next, bylaws. I will have the completed version of bylaws out before the next meeting, so everybody can review and we can discuss then. So
I'm looking for that. We'll discuss and hopefully get those drafted properly and voted on before the beginning of the year. Fundraising, no new news on fundraising, unless anybody else had any ideas other than our last fundraiser. As you see, it brought in pretty much money for us, so we are up at a level where we can release fund our both our or at least one scholarship, if not two. I will be sending letters out thanking leads, and then also I'm looking back, and I will be sending a letter also out thanking the Swanson Center for their donation too. So that's it. Anybody have any idea of anything on fundraising?
Now I got an inquiry about the bylaws. Bring that issue up. I just received, I'm sure we all received that email by Ms. Tillman about that, about the residency bylaws. So as of now, properly, those current commissioners that are residencies of the, bylaws currently don't have no voting power. And, are we gonna try to change the bylaws, or are we just gonna stay with what it is?
So as I just mentioned, I will be sending out those bylaws with all those things put in it so we can move forward. So when we get them out, that's what will be in the bylaws.
Right, but as of right now,
We can't change the bylaws right now.
so as of right now, they're not.
I will speak to the city attorney about that.
But as of right now, they're not voting.
I'll speak to the city attorney about that.
May I interject, please? I think we need to have the bylaws need to be behind closed doors. We have some issues that do need to be addressed. And as the assistant chief of police, you do know we have a residency rule, and I don't want to go into that, but we need to follow the rules and follow the law. Just like what happened to me when you guys put up all the, y'all knew all the statutes backwards and forwards, and you try to remove me from this commission the year before last. So I just hope that we can do this behind closed doors, so we don't have to have this out in public and get it addressed and done.
Thank you for your comment.
I'll second that, Rich Martin.
Thank you for your comments. It wasn't a vote, but thank you for your comments.
Unfortunately, it seems as if, this commission is more or less being like dictators. I'm not sure who's supposed to recommend the speakers. Not saying that we're going against the speakers, but we're not being included. We're not being offered who we may have want to come to speak. We're not being entitled to the same rights as the dictatorship. We're not even our voices are being silenced. Every time we bring up an issue, as of now, we are being cut off, interrupted, and slowly but surely dismissed. And I think that's a problem or issue,
Point of order
to a certain degree. I want to be heard, and I'm being interrupted once again by dictatorship. Because we're supposed to have a good free will to speak. Just because I speak loudly doesn't mean I speak aggressively.
That's not the time in the
You see
meeting.
what I'm saying? There's no certain time. He said we made it to the subcommittee. We don't have subcommittee meetings. There's not been maybe one subcommittee meeting this whole year. He's referring all of our issues to the subcommittee. There's no subcommittee meetings. Our issues never get addressed. Who is Rogers?
Can I interrupt?
No,
So point of order, move forward. Yeah.
Until we can address that down the line. There's a place for it on the agenda.
So back to fundraising. Any other comments on fundraising? No
Hi,
comments on-
Chair. This is
Yes.
Nyla. Hi.
Hi.
I like the idea, and we raised a lot of money at Leeds. Is there, maybe some other places that we can do that? It seems to bring in, a good substantial amount of money. Maybe we can do that again. If it's not at Leeds, maybe another location. If any other commissioners have some other ideas on another one of those, what is it? What was it called? I can't remember.
What, for leagues?
Yes.
Is there, I think they call it, they do a cocktail of the month, and then
Okay.
they donate the proceeds from that cocktail that they promote to a group that's they sponsor that month.
Yeah, so maybe other restaurants may be interested in doing it, like Buffalo Wild Wings. I think we have done that in the past before.
Yeah, those are give backs, and so that was
Give
Leeds,
backs.
this was Leeds' version of give back.
Okay.
So that is something to look into.
I think Holly's has been generous with us before, and I believe Hacienda is open to that, you guys. Also, Cablin's, from what I understand, does for non-for-profit organizations, Dollars for Dogs, and you just have to, they donate everything, you just have to man the tent, and then all donations. So they donate the hot dogs and the buns and the chips and stuff, and then we just as an organization man the tent all day, and all proceeds go to the organization. So it's just a matter of contacting them, and I have a hookup through another organization. If you'd like me to look at that for maybe the spring, you guys, or the summertime.
Yes,
That's a great idea. Who's on the fundraising committee?
So I had one or two fundraising committees through through myself, the social factors.
Mhm.
One or two I had, nobody showed up.
I showed up, Marty, but it was
Yeah, I'm
virtual.
sorry, it was me and Commissioner Genshaw.
You're all right. You're all right.
I forgot about that.
Maybe five guys do something a couple years with us.
Yes, in the past we've done. In the past we were able to do stuff with Five Guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
Holly's, I believe, and one other franchise restaurant. We did something with it. Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yeah.
So,
Did we have one at Hacienda once too,
I
Marty?
don't believe this group had one at Hacienda. I'm not sure.
Okay, it could have been another one.
Okay.
But they're open to that, you guys, so if people think they'd like that.
Yes.
I think it's worth it, but we need to see who may be interested in being on the fundraising committee. I mean, I can help with that. So if anyone else wants to, join in on that, and be a part of that committee, but we definitely need to be raising some money because we do have scholarships and other things that we could be doing in the community, but we don't have enough money.
Correct.
Okay.
Anything else on fundraising? Subcommittee reports, education, Commissioner McCullough.
Thank you, Chair. I just have a few announcements, and they're a repeat of the last time I was able to join the meeting with the commissioners. One being that just like many employers around the county, around the region and country, there are several job positions available within the Michigan City area schools. And those positions, whether it's an instructional aide, a paraprofessional, food service, transportation, substitute teaching, starting at $13 an hour, and for substitute teaching, depending on your qualifications and background, can be higher, but at the minimum $13 an hour for those positions. So if you're interested in any of those, you can contact the administration building here. It's 219-873-2000. Also, after-school activities for students. There are many that are happening across the district. I want to really highlight for the Michigan City area schools, for our students who are in grades K to 8, that we have acceleration programs. You can check with your student's principal, or if you're willing to volunteer or support. We are looking for volunteers to help in those programs. We also have many coaching positions that are available in those grade levels at the elementary level. So those are paid stipends. So if you're interested in supporting our young students, please contact your local elementary school. And then as we talk about scholarships, last month October, the FAFSA, the free application for federal student aid, was made available to students. It's important that if you have a student, whether they're going to college, they have a college going plan, or they want to go to some type of trade or apprenticeship school, that they complete this form. In Michigan City, it's a graduation requirement, so we require all of our students who graduate unless they opt out. There's a form at the high school that they would need to do that if they want to opt out of completing the FAFSA, but it's highly encouraged that we do that, and the sooner you do it, the better, because there's more money available now, especially in the state of Indiana, for our students who fill those forms out as soon as possible. And that's all I have.
Any commissioner have any questions for Commissioner McCullough?
Mr. McCullough, have you held any subcommittee meetings with education as of late?
No, I have not, Commissioner Fly. I would for sure let you and Mr. McCormick know, since you're both on the subcommittee, if we will have any of those meetings.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions for Commissioner McCullough? Health, Commissioner Williams and Allen. Who wants to go first?
Iowa, you can go first.
I don't have much. We just finished up with Franciscan our last of the Fan Out Diabetes initiative in the churches. We were at Pleasant Hill on Sunday, and this is a diabetes initiative, and that was a great turnout. We probably screened like 24 people and had different vendors there. So the whole initiative with the 3 churches, which was Redeemed Fellowship, New Hope, and the last one was Pleasant Hill. So all a great turnout. This will be continued in our next cycle. We're working on now our strategic plan for the next 3 years. So if there's any ideas of other health issues that you all think we need to focus on, I encourage you to, reach out to me and let me know. And maybe I could try to, get something on the books for the next few years that are coming up. As always, COVID-19 is a health issue. A lot of people are still not getting vaccinated. And we encourage them to do so. If there's any questions about that, or the hesitancy of it, we can maybe have some doctors come out again, like I did with the Franciscan chat, so people can actually talk to a doctor, with infectious disease, and stop listening to the friends and families and Facebook and social media, because there's a lot of misinformation that is out there. So I encourage people to get with the people who know what they're talking about, and so we can try to get this thing under control, because it's still, in high numbers. So I'm sure Miss Allen can attest to that. Thank you.
The Minority Health Coalition had continued to do their work on COVID. We had our last COVID program over at Pentecostal Temple Church in Guided by Reverend Johnson. And we had our walk from there. We were very successful. We had 103 walkers. The National Guard walked with us. Students from the high school ROTC class and the soccer team were part of our walk. We did a breast cancer walk instead of the ball we used to have, because of the amount of people that would have been conducive to good health. So we did a snip and snack and fiddleheads, and that was to finish up our breast cancer campaign. The ladies made Christmas wreaths, and we raised, I think it was $1,250. for that event. And those funds will go towards helping to pay for mammograms for those that have insurance, but the insurance may not pay the entire amount. So if you come to the coalition's office with a doctor slip and where you're going to have the mammogram taken, then we will write a check to the cancer center, whichever site that you're going to have the test, and that's for men and women. Currently, we are at Queen of All Saints School with the obesity program. We know that obesity is one of the number one killers in the Black and brown community, and so we're doing obesity there. Our next program will be D, and that's diabetes, and we're also doing infant mortality. So those are the current things that we're involved in. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for Commissioner Williams?
I'd like to add something, Commissioner Fly. How, since we're on the Housing Authority Board, you may say something about a booster vaccination. They're doing that down at the Housing Authority.
I can answer that for you, Mr. McCormick. The Minority Health Partners scheduled a booster shot vaccination at the Housing Authority, but the residents did not show up. We provided snack to go, we call it, with hot soup, a dessert, a fruit, and a piece of cornbread. And we didn't have any residents that showed up. We delivered flyers to each one of those complexes. And so we're going to try it one more time. We did 3 vaccination sites there, and now we were trying to get the booster shot, but we didn't have anyone to show up, so we're going to try it again.
Well, make sure you you call me or contact me. I'll be a part of that and help get it out on my Facebook page. I think there's a lot of conflict going on right now that one minute they said the bill is not open to the public.
Well, it was open to everybody to come, not only
on the inside of what's going on in the inner works.
Oh, I don't know about that.
As a commissioner of the Housing Authority, it's causing a lot of confusion in our community. Maybe we'll get that worked out and get some people down there.
Okay, I wasn't aware of that, but we did make notices, and we went to each one of the buildings. And since they didn't show up, we didn't want to throw the food away, so we took the food to them and gave the food out. So that's
Okay.
what happened with that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I got a question for Commissioner Williams. Who idea was it to do the diabetes awareness through Franciscan Alliance? Who came up with that idea?
I did.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
I just have a quick question for you guys. And it's peaceful. Have you guys had a subcommittee meeting as of late?
Who?
No.
No.
I have not had a subcommittee meeting with anyone.
That's the most. Thank you.
Any other questions for Commissioner Williams or Commissioner Howard? Employment, Commissioner Millsap. Commissioner Millsap, employment. Still on.
He's on, but he might be having technical issues.
We'll move on and come back to these technical issues. Criminal Justice, Commissioner Ganshaw.
Happy Wednesday, everyone. In regard to the Criminal Justice Subcommittee, the Indiana Criminal Justice Association had their statewide meeting last month. It was a resounding success. So they report there were many people that attended both virtually and in person in South Bend. So that's an association we certainly belong to, and others are welcome to join. The Drug Free Partnership, which the social status is actively involved in, meets the first Wednesday of every month, virtually currently due to the COVID numbers. So that's 8 a.m. the first Wednesday of every month. And there are 35 organizations involved and many others who are on the list. So feel free, anyone, to join us for that. There's a link. And then in regard to employment, as we're all talking about employment and the need for employment, the Indiana Department of Correction remains the largest employer in the county. They have jobs at every level, from correctional officer to teacher to administrator, so anyone that feels qualified. They also have a benefit package that goes with full-time employment. And also the county is seeking employees also for many positions, from administrative to secretarial. So those things are open. And that's basically my report for this month.
Any questions for Commissioner Ganshaw?
Yes, I have a question. Any of the programs you just spoke about, how does it have any impact on the black males in Michigan City?
How does what, Mr. McCormick, have an impact on black males?
Any of the programs you're talking about that you brought up other than DOC hiring, outside of that, any of the other programs, how does that impact the black community, the black males in our community?
I think, Mr. McCormick, all of them certainly impact black males. Addiction issues are ravishing minority communities, as we all know. Not specifically just black males, but minority communities. Drug-Free Partnership addresses that specifically, the disparities among populations that are affected by addictions. As far as employment, I think employment remains a continued issue among minorities. Is there a specific question you had, Mr. McCormick?
No, this is answered.
I'm sorry, I'm having trouble hearing you.
I said you answered most of it. I just said thank you.
Can I ask, can I make a comment? Minority Health Partners was funded through a program for the Drug-Free Partnership, and we did a program on grandparents raising children and being afraid to speak up for themselves. In that program, we had a Pentecostal Temple Church in God in Christ. We have a lot of grandparents, African American grandparents I know, that are raising their grandchildren or their great-grandchildren, and they have fear because sometimes they are overpowered by the youth. And so we've had that program, and I think that's been a big impact in our community.
Thank you. Any other questions for Commissioner Ganshaw?
Yes, Ms. Ganshaw, I have a question. Have you had a subcommittee meeting as of late?
Is that you, Mr. Fly?
How you doing?
Good. You know what, gentlemen, I think they're, especially among the newer members, they're asking about subcommittee meetings. And I think a lot of us were under the old practice where we didn't always technically have monthly meetings, but we were very engaged in our community in the specific areas of which we worked in or were assigned in. But also know too, just because we may chair a committee, and particularly to the newer members, feel free to say, hey, I'd like to host a meeting with this subcommittee about this. And I think many of us would join that and join in. So,
Ganshaw, before I just want to go back on the record, I have asked for that.
Mr. Fly, could you speak into the microphone? I can hardly hear you.
I have asked that before, Ms. Ganshaw, as to relate as his last topic. It never got occurred, it never happened. And also, I was speaking upon the subcommittees because we get referred to the subcommittees, and I've been on this board for about 2 years now, and I'm just wondering, how are we supposed to get anything accomplished, other than coming up here and having 2 or 5 minutes and then meeting the next month without going to the subcommittees to get anything going, accomplished, or done in our immediate community and immediate areas that's affecting us right now. And it's hard to do anything or say anything because we are being cut off between this meeting to speak about issues because we're being referred to as subcommittee meetings that are not happening and has not been happening. And so it's almost like, what is we here for?
Any other questions for Commissioner Ganshaw? No. Thank you. Social factors committee, that's my committee. The last subcommittee I had, we talked about the policy evolutions of fund fair or future fair. I haven't had a subcommittee since then, but that was just last month. I've had 2 subcommittees, I think, 2 or 3 subcommittee meetings this year. So that addressed my subcommittee issue. And then also just want to inform everybody that Michigan City Black History Month Committee will start meeting very soon, and I'll be giving updates to the commission. Any questions on social factors?
Yes.
Yes.
As the Assistant Chief of Police, what is your position on making body cam footage free to residents who live here in Michigan City?
I don't have a position on that.
Do you think it's a good idea?
I have to look at all the pros and cons.
Okay. You give me an answer on that next meeting or something? Or?
Yeah, possibly. If I get a chance to look at the pros and cons.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Maybe else on social factors. All right, anything for the good of the order?
Yes. I'm going to go in with Mr. Fly on this situation. I don't understand who's picking our guest speakers for us. I thought we were a committee, a group of individuals who have their own voice, who also have a right to vote, or even make suggestions on who they might want to see as guest speakers, that's where we're going with this now. I think wholeheartedly that the guest speakers are being picked by just the chairperson, and when we have our round table and our other discussions, it takes away from our time. I don't know if that's being done purposely or not, but it seems like a dictatorship to me also. I don't mean no disrespect to anyone, but I just happen to look at the duties of the chair, and it's not for you to pick and tell us what to do and how to do it. That's not one of your duties. We should discuss this as a group, so we all can have impact or input on who's going to be our guest speaker. I would love to see the county prosecutor come in and speak. I would love to have Mr. Cox speak. How about who used to be Arthur Payne come back and speak on how he thinks things are going for us and what we can do to make change and make things better here or there. It's just not working out. And on another note, our laws are what our laws is. We have a residency rule. It's being violated right now today. At the next meeting, I'm going to call point of order every time. And these individuals should not be able to speak until this is resolved, either through amending of an ordinance through the city council, or they can just sit on subcommittees. You said it clearly, anybody's free to volunteer and come in. I hope they still keep their position, but there's a reason why we have rules. And that residency rule, you already talked to the city attorney, and she made that clear to me, and you made it clear to us about 3 or 4 meetings ago that the city attorney told you that I was correct about the residency rule. So I think we need to address these issues before we can really move forward. And unless you just think that people are not going to be reappointed or it's just the just Marty social status. It should be all of our social status, making life better and putting in input, especially during our annual report to the city council, because they are the legislators. They can change things such as pass an ordinance to make sure residents get free body cam footage if they feel like they've been abused by a police officer or whatever. So there's a lot of things that can be done, but we don't put no recommendations in it. And since I've been watching this, it's kind of shameful, the things that are going on right now. And I have not seen the secretary. I was told that she quit. I was at the NAACP meeting. I'm sorry for being long-winded, but they clearly said Nikki was not, Miss Trotman is no longer here. And I believe that they appointed your mother to be here. I was there at the meeting, so I don't know. So I just want to get my 2 cents across. And again, Mr. Chair, I appreciate it if we can get these bylaws straightened out. I hope that we can do that behind closed doors, because it is needed. And there's some touchy subjects going on, because Ms. Granshaw ran me to the ground, ran me to the dirt. She knew all the statutes when they didn't want me on here for whatever reason. And the same value that you said that they bring to this commission, I bring the same values too. I reach out, I talk to kids, I'm all through the community. I might not be known as Mr. Community, but I'm in the community. And I do make a positive input. I changed my life for a reason, but it seems like everybody want to just keep talking about the past, talk about me and don't even know who I am. And I'm just sick of it. Thinking everybody has a past.
Yeah, so to address a couple of things, as far as speakers, when we first started speaker thing, I made it known that if anybody had an idea for speaker, they can come to me. Matter of fact, it started with Commissioner Tillman giving some recommendations. So it's always been known that it wasn't just me picking the speakers. Yeah, I may pick them for that month, but if you have ideals for speaker, you can always come to me. Nobody has yet to come to me about that. Secondly, about the residency rule. Yes, the city attorney said that most commissions do have residency rule, but not specifically, we're not talking about ours because our old bylaws states that you have to be a resident of LaPorte County. And that's why we're going through the change of the new bylaws to make it to make it sound with the ordinance. So that was a reason for that. So just those two issues. And also about you not being on the commission, that wasn't nothing personal. So I'm not sure why you bring that up all the time. I just want to let you know that
I hope it's never nothing personal.
So
I don't know where you're going with this. I don't know where you're going.
Right, but I'm speaking, and when you spoke, I didn't interrupt you. Mr. Fly just talked about interruptions. You talked about interruptions, and now you guys are you're interrupting. I didn't interrupt you when you were speaking.
I didn't say nothing.
You did say about people being interrupted.
Right now.
Not right now, but
Well,
in the post when you made your comment, you talked about interruptions. So I was just saying that was interruptions.
Personal attack on me.
I'm not trying to personal
Go
attack.
ahead, man. With Kwame,
I didn't know what you said. Why do you?
Address that, brother.
All right, so let me talk then.
To my
You're still talking. I can talk. I'm talking to the whole commission. To the whole commission.
You talk to the whole commission.
All right,
You
so,
told them
Thank
that we
you,
agree with
Commissioner
the
Fry. Anything else for the good of the order?
Yes, Miss Tillman was not here today. She sent an email out, and she also talked to me over the phone. When they amended the ordinance to add another member to this, they also changed a couple other things, and residency was one of them. I'm sure when she comes, she will address it the way she wants to address it. The city council voted, and it's definitely there. You must be a resident of Michigan City. And there's a reason for that. I'm sorry if it hurts anyone, but the sad part about all this, and I think all of y'all will agree with me, had I lived in Beverly Shores and all of you lived in Michigan City, they will find that will be another reason to keep me off the social status for a few individuals who just for some reason think they know me and they don't. I never sat on a board with none of you. So thank you.
Anything else for the good of the order? No. Do I have a motion for adjournment? So move the second. All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
That's next month.
Everybody, you know,
All right.